Hello and welcome back once again to the Overwatch World Cup here in Bangkok, Thailand. My name is Zoe and I have the utmost pleasure of hosting this wonderful event on this very stage together with my girl Mika. And we are ready to show you the last game of the day. And I expect this crowd to get really, really, really loud because we will be seeing Australia taking on Thailand. So this ought to be a great match coming your way, and it's been a long day already, so let's refresh our memories and take a look at the schedule and the games we already saw. We first saw Denmark taking on Thailand, and Denmark managed to take the W 3-1. Afterwards, Australia took on Spain, and Australia was the winner of that bout 3-1 as well. Then we had a close match between Sweden and China, and the score might not suggest that, but the 3-1 was a hard-fought victory for the guys from China. And also remember that after the last game of the day here on stage, we're also going to see the Contenders Pacific Finals happening, so don't go anywhere. And for now, I think it is time to introduce the teams for our last game of the day. Please give it up for Team Thailand as well as Team Australia. This ought to be a great one to finish out the day. So for all the action attended, over to CP and Jake.
Thank you, Zoe. And of course, we're heading into the final match of the day for the World Cup program before we head into the Contenders Finals. It's going to be Australia taking on Thailand. And for Thailand, this is do or die. We have yet to see a team get to BlizzCon after losing 2 games. So if you're Thailand, now is the time to perform.
And playing in front of the home crowd, you have to believe they don't want to go down 0-2 the first day. They want to deliver for this home crowd. In Australia, you know, not having, I would say, the strongest showing possible here. So they definitely seem like Thailand could take the win here if they can really elevate their level of play. Denmark, of course, finding the win earlier today, but maybe Thailand just working out the kinks, getting out a little bit of stage nerves. Maybe they're going to come back a lot stronger in this series. I expect it to be a close one.
Absolutely. Of course, Thailand, they'll have the home crowd behind them, where they've been super supportive so far. I mean, they've been getting into it for games where Thailand has been playing, but they've been absolutely nutty when Thailand has. So you got to think that's a point in their favor. But I agree. I think Australia's been a little bit mortal here today, and what a great move for Thailand if they're able to keep themselves in it here. But take a look at the Australia roster, and of course, look at that guy there. You got Custa.
Custa, definitely the face of this team, maybe the most known, of course, for playing in the Overwatch League. But we saw a lot of competency from the whole squad. CKM has been really impressing me on his projectile play, really focusing on the Pharah, it seemed, against Denmark, but seems to be able to play other characters as well.
And of course, going over to Thailand, you definitely got some fan favorites there as well. There's Mickey on the left, always smiling. But of course, the rest of the team there, you know, you take a look at players like Patafon, where he has been looking super good here so far. You know, wait 4 years to catch him in OWL, I suppose, but, you know.
Yeah, a young player, but certainly a young talent. And of course, Apudo, known so well for his Sombra, coming into vogue right now. So you would think this would be Apudo's meta, the time to strike, basically perma Sombra, because it actually works now. It's very viable, more so than it's ever been in the past. Mickey, of course, so flexible, able to fill out however the roster really needs him. So right now we're seeing a lot of Diva, but we could just as easily see him on the Brigitte, the Zarya. You know, he's definitely one of those players with a deep hero pool coming from the Overwatch League.
Well, I gotta say, our first map is gonna be Oasis, and we're not wasting any time whatsoever. We're just gonna get right into it as we take a look at the first round setting up here. It's gonna be the Gardens, and of course, taking a look at Australia. Interesting, we don't see CKM coming out on the Pharah. This is usually one of the stages of Oasis where you tend to see more Pharah play.
Yeah, surprising. Maybe he'll make the swap late. I mean, of course, we saw how much he favored the Pharah, but of course, on a stage like Gardens, you would expect to see it even from a player that wasn't so focused on it. But we saw him play Genji to great effect in the previous series, so definitely something that Australia is comfortable running. So I'm not worried about them running this composition. I think this can work very well for them, especially with the Sombra. Those hacks can be a major setup for a Dragon Blade or just a committed dodge.
All right, so Australia gonna be rolling on out here. Genji's on both sides, Sombra's on both ends as well. So we'll see just how this first fight plays out.
Yeah, the full mirror match composition, so it's really up to the players to show their skill here.
Mickey going back over, looking for the early focus fire onto the Winston, and they're gonna get a Trill down immediately. Thailand up 6v5. And Australia now might have to take a moment here a little bit back. Huss gonna get healed back up in the moment, but Thailand is zoning them out. They get the D-Mech, Mickey goes in even deeper, and Thailand in a good position to get first cap.
Great punish by Thailand. Mickey swinging in right behind Trill as soon as he makes that committed jump, cutting off that LOS, and then a Kraken cannot give any heals to Trill. He falls early, and Thailand snowballs their advantage. That's what happens in these mirrors compositions.
And you take a look at the next fight here. They're gonna have a nano boost pretty well ahead of Australia here, and they can just throw that on a Winston.
Yeah, Tito dropping low, maybe time to nail it. He looks like he's expecting it here. There it goes. What a turn. Getting in on this.
Oh!
But instantly stopped. Woken up though. Huge mistake.
No, don't wake up the Winston when he leaps up Nano. That's a really bad idea. Tito goes, hey, thanks for the alarm clock. Let me take down your entire team.
Yeah,
oh.
Goes down in the end there, but it doesn't matter. Did his job. Now with the Primal Rage ready to take the next fight. And Thailand with so many ults to work with. The Kraken almost ready for his Nano to combo with CKM's Blade though. So very winnable fight for Australia, especially when you introduce EMPs into the mix. Ultimate advantage just stops mattering so much. You know, it really changes the game, especially with an ultimate like Sound Barrier. Of course, that interaction with EMP means that you're so scared to even use the Sound Barrier. Sometimes it doesn't matter.
We see Huss going in from the back. Patafan went for the aggressive Blade, gets slept and taken down. Australia has that 6v5, but Tito goes into the back line. The Primal gets a little bit on the other end. CKM slept, and oh, you hate to see it happen. Sleeping on the job with the Nano boost as Thailand is still making this fight their own off of that fantastic sleep.
Trill, though, taking down 97% on the Primal Rage, not able to get that ultimate, and now chasing into the spawn. Our team Thailand. D.Va, Punk not even electing to use the self-destruct just to remech. Now he's going to be on a major delay here. They're probably going to look to take him down. Oh, they're going to let him remech. Actually, great decision making by Punk. Not using that self-destruct. Now it's available for the next fight. CKF makes a switch onto the Brigitte. You know, maybe to deal with Patafan Tracer makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, it's a late Brigitte swap here in Australia. This might be their final opportunity at 88% for Thailand, but Tito going to go with the Nano boost. Diving deep, but now backs up. Meanwhile, Panties gets taken down on the other end. Huss with the double kill. Fantastic Sombra play. He makes it 3 before he's said and done. Australia not out of it yet.
Huss absolutely raining in the frags, but it costs a few ultimates for the side of Australia. Forced to use both tank ultimates and the beat drop there, so not as much to work with coming into this retake. Thailand at 99%. All they need to do is flip the point one more time and take that fight, so it's going to be up to Australia. This is probably the toughest fight right now. They have nothing to work with. They have to make it
take a look. Huss is on the assault here, looking for the Lucio in the back. Hasn't committed here. He's just stalking the team, giving all that information.
Making all these calls here definitely aids the side of Australia as they prepare for the setup, but will it be enough? We see Tito getting very aggressive on the sports. He's still got the Primal Rage.
He got cussed immediately. It's a quick pick up of Thailand, and he's not done yet. Juggling him in the corner, and he gets woken up again. This man has trouble sleeping. Get him some melatonin because he's going wild.
Absolutely, they're Australia making a lot of errors here. So many great sleeps from a Kraken, but all of them have been woken up so far.
This is fantastic from Thailand, and arguably an upset to boot. Australia on the verge here in round 1, and Thailand just needs a few more eliminations, and that's going to be enough for them to take the Gardens.
Thailand holding strong on the point here. It's all over but the crying here on Gardens. Tito has so much control. This HP just too much to deal with. Brigitte on the point. Yeah, and that's all Thailand from map 1. The crowd goes wild. Love to see that home team support. Thailand really capitalizing on this energy.
No doubt about it, and again, this is a match where going into it, most people would have considered them to be the underdogs, and yes, that's just one round in control. There's still a long way to go, and even seeing earlier today where Spain was able to be surprising, just because you get map 1 doesn't mean you can bring it all the way, but it's signs of life, and that's what's exciting.
I love to see this crowd interaction coming out from Team Thailand. I can see them getting hype right here. They're feeling the momentum. They're going to take that round for all it's worth. Of course, it is just round 1, but you know, that matters a lot, getting that momentum, starting things going, and we're going to see if they're able to continue it here as we move on to the next stage. You know,
what does it mean from a player point of view when you're in front of a crowd like this? You were in front of the USA crowd last year at Santa Monica, so you kind of get an idea.
The impact of being the home team, you can't overstate it. It makes such a huge difference. You feel that energy, and it really just makes you want to play your best. I mean, for some players, that adrenaline will be a problem, but for others, it's a massive strength.
All right, Thailand going to be opening up here with the McCree setup, so it does make Patafan sort of the absolute focus here on both ends, where you want to focus him if you're Australia, and you want to protect him if you're Thailand. Goes to that back line, almost gets a Sombra, but the dive is too deep. He's taken down immediately. However, Trill gave his life for that. It's even 5v5. Thailand can still bring this back.
Trading 1 for 1, but Tito with the pin, maybe securing advantage for their team, takes down Punk. Australia looking to cap the point, but Thailand managing to hold the point at the same time as hitting these picks. This is so crucial. Australia's getting no point progress here, while Thailand looks to clean this up.
Not only that, but they're able to get the res back onto the Cree. They're in a great spot right now. Now, do note that CKM is in the sky. He was able to pick off 1, so still very even between the two. Both teams getting their licks in, but we look back to Tito, Earth Shatter, ready, looking for any targets. Probably wants to get more than just the D.Va, so he's going to hold on. Shield, though, getting bashed from the backhand side. There's the EMP coming in from Australia. They want to make this fight their own. They get Opudo, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough here just yet. Let's rocket down, and Thailand solo, that should be all they need.
CKM doing such a good job just being elusive in this fight. He's got a Hanzo and a McCree to worry about on top of the Zenyatta and the damages from the Mercy. So much pressure coming into the fair, but he still managed to get it done, getting a lot of value there and not falling any time to the fight. That's securing Australia this first cap.
Now, how powerful is the FAR here once you have control of the point and you can get those rockets from afar?
FAR's classic ability is that no damage fall off rocket, right? Like, that's the most important part of her kit, the fact that you can be at maximum range, that McCree is only tapping you for 30-40 damage. But goes a little bit over aggressive.
Oh! That didn't seem like the move. He could have gone for the move. Instead, he just gave himself in willingly, fed them on his own volition. But Pong gets Patafon on the other side. Both teams trading up pickoffs here, but Australia in first control. Mickey, might want to back out a bit here.
Punk channeling cool match, just racking up these baby diva frags. Now back from the suit, coming up on a bomb. Mickey forced to hop off the map. Unlike Punk, doesn't want to commit to the fight in the baby diva form. Great team play there from Australia. Looks like a minor miss-scout at the beginning, leads CKM to go over-aggressive to his death, but Australia continues to move forward, keeps control of that right side high ground, and manages to win the fight. And now a lot of ults to work with.
And Huss right now, he's keeping the supports in mind, but also goes for the tanks as well. Sets up the dive. Patafon nowhere to go there. And oh boy, speaking of nowhere to go, time to go off the edge. Trill bopping people right off into the ocean. And Australia is coming right on back.
Trill with a massive triple kill. Doesn't find any more, but that's all they need, completely stuffing Thailand. Thailand, though, finally starting to build up a few ultimates. Titobot makes a swap to Winston. I like this decision-making. You're a little more mobile, able to protect this McCree as he moves around the map, can get in the Farah's face a little more aggressively. Don't give her all the space in the world that Reinhardt does.
We'll see how this goes going to the next fight. 80% for Australia. Thailand must strike now. Unable to pick off the Sombra in the back. Nice calculated play coming out from Huss, who's been very surgical, but Deadeye gets the Mercy. Custa had nowhere to go, and Thailand now gets her own 6-on-4. Huss was caught in the back, and now this is the space you want as a McCree.
Patafon getting into this high ground position. Australia is just going to give it up, but they get to that 95% progress. At this point, they really just need to flip the point one more time, and we saw how effective that was for Thailand in the last round. So Australia looking to flip the script, take control here. They do have the nano boost and very close to the Valkyrie, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them commit, especially given that Thailand have no support ults, using them both in that last fight.
Australia can realize that there's a window right now, and they're going to open up early on. CKM with the barrage gets Mickey, and that's going to be big for the front line. Australia now moving on in. CKM looking for the Winston. One rocket needs quite a bit more. Opudo down, and it's been back and forth between the two teams, but Australia is going to be able to res their Ana here. They should be able to keep up pressure, but oh, just as soon as the Kraken goes up, he goes back down into the salty depths. Now, Thailand is still in a very good spot.
Great flank by Patafon and saved by his supports. Now he's back out with the high noon. It's so difficult to get contested McCree once you lose one or two players. They would come back to res a Kraken, but Patafon's immediately on him, takes him down again, and they really are never able to stabilize, never able to have their two supports working in concert. Now CKM trying to wrap around on the flank, knows that high noon's down, knows he can use that skybox to its fullest extent, but Mickey ready with the self-destruct. If they commit cooldowns, this Farah could be facing a bump.
The cut on Huss. Huss was poking and ends up falling for it. Mickey now ushering CKM. The Diva versus Farah, that's very confident. Titobot, Primal Rage way into the back, splitting Australia apart. And Thailand now arguably one fight away from taking the map.
Very great comeback in this round. It's pretty difficult to do on this map. Ultimate advantage tends to matter a lot, but Australia sort of half committing to those last two pushes, and they really don't have the ultimate stack that they should be having, given that they got that first 95%. Thailand in an advantage position here. Double support ult is so difficult to attack.
Oh! A hack on the Custa!
He can't fly, no wings.
Clips his wings, and oh man, that's going to be a tough mountain to climb now for Australia as they try to get back in. They lose Huss once more. They've hung onto his aggression. Opudo tries to turn down the lights, only hits Punk. But here's the barrage from the back as Titobot taking a nap. Thailand, though, still, we'll see what they can do to come back in. They're contesting. It's overtime. Patafon takes down both supports before falling. There's no more healing here for Australia, and it's just down to the wire. And yet Australia might have brought this back.
Punk looking like he's going to stabilize here. Titobot got a little over-aggressive, went into the spawn, but wasn't able to find anything. Now Australia flips back, and it's Thailand's turn to trickle back into the point.
We'll see what happens. Both teams respawning. It's still anyone's game. Thailand, though, would love to end this right here, right now. Rocket, though, out of the fight. And Australia starting to reconvene their troops here. They're at a significant advantage. Thailand falling one by one. And that means we're going to be looking straight at going into a round number 3 here, unless Thailand can pull a miracle.
The nano-boosted Valkyrie, nobody is taking down Costa, breaks the pistol out, looks for the cleanup frags. Australia is just styling at this point.
Australia, they're feeling it at the moment. That's what happened to bring out the emergency Hammond. But now, it's all going to be settled on that 3rd and final round. To the city center we go.
Great comeback by Australia. I felt like they made a couple mistakes late in that round, not capitalizing on their 95% lead, but there at the end, Punk outlasts Mickey with that self-destruct on the point, and they're able to get in a little bit quicker with those respawners.
And of course, once you get to round 3, anything can happen. Thailand started out strong. They had their chance to end it right now. But you hear the crowd. The crowd is pumped, giving them a little bit of energy here.
Certainly, and this is a map where I think it should play a little bit more towards Thailand's strengths. It's pretty tough to play the Pharah on this stage in the current metagame. It used to be one of the best Pharah stages, but now with how much Sombra is being played, it's a little bit rougher.
We'll see just what both teams are going to come out with here, and you do take a look as the offense, as the players head on out, and it will be CKM on the Genji, so not going to the Pharah.
Pattyfon maybe predicting the Pharah here, so CKM, nice preemptive decision-making not to go Pharah. This Genji is going to be really tough for Pattyfon to deal with. They're going to be able to get in his face and deny him those angles.
Good scouting coming out here from Australia, but already the hack on the CKM needs to see him support the sail line, able to back on out. You can see a lot of damage going. Joe almost falls and does. Mickey chases it on down. Thailand up one player. Can Mickey get healed in time? No. He's going to get D-Max, so we'll see if Mickey can get back in. Baby Divas can be relatively scary, but we see Thailand almost with first control, but Australia not going to give it to him that easy.
Pattyfon with a lot of chances, just not able to find any connections here. It's up to Apudo to find his picks, I feel. But at the same time, CKM coming up on his own blade. Thailand needs to win this point quickly.
Ooh, Pataphan goes down. Australia able to get that pickup on the other end. Titawat next to go down as suddenly we see Australia get more pressure on the point. And Trill, as low as he was, able to get healed up. He's fishing for the primal rage. Needs about 20% more. And you see CKM gets the blade, gets the pick off, and Australia being surgical, methodical as they clean up the point and get control.
Oh, and Mickey self-destructing to delay, but ends up flying just off the point, enough to get the flip to Australia. This is going to give a major percentage advantage to Australia, and they have so many ultimates to work with. In fact, all 6 at the same time. I mean, this EMP could potentially neutralize the sound barrier or the nano blade, but unless Australia get caught with the full 6-man, this is looking like a rough retake for Thailand.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be a world where between the Sombras, Apudo just has the play of his life, but you're totally right. Australia is definitely in the driver's seat right now.
Definitely, and Pattyfon making the switch over to Genji is going to be very behind on the ultimate account.
Early EMP coming out here from Hassan. Oh, sleep in the back, CKM once more sleeping on the job, and Thailand actually has a chance here. They get the first 2 pickoffs. Australia was banking on that nano blade, but it did not come to pass as Thailand, off an incredible sleep dart from Panties, sets the way.
A bit of miscoordination there. Huss a little too slow on the EMP. The sleep dart comes out before the EMP does. So CKM getting slept there, losing effectively 2 ultimates for almost nothing on the side of Thailand. That is the kind of play you need to be making to come back in that ultimate bank situation.
No, Australia is working on edges of progress, and oh boy, Thailand, they go deeper, but again, another sleep, and this time Titawat, he's getting his good snooze in. He's not woken up early, but he's able to primal in time. Not down yet early, but while he's primal in one end, Trill's primal in the other, both supports for Thailand are down. Gonna be very difficult for them to actually bring this fight back.
A bit of an overextension there for Team Thailand, trying to get aggressive in this bomb, but get punished. Titawat woken up, forced the primal instantly, but just not getting any value out of it. Too much control on the side of Thailand.
All right, off of the hero play from Trill, Australia gets control once more. Thailand in a bit of a hole here as Australia crosses 50%.
Costa also has a major opportunity to use the sound barrier aggressively. Apudo not on the EMP. If they can correctly read this, they could get really aggro with the sound barrier.
Pataphan has the Dragon Blade up and ready to go. We'll see just where he goes in. Even though he doesn't have the nano boost, he has been relatively conservative and choosing good moments, and oh boy, almost gets picked off early. Has to back out, but going to get healed up. Thailand not out of it yet.
Huss playing with fire there, dropping almost to the death there, but with an EMP ready to potentially counter this nano blade. Gets it out though.
Blade up, and he gets hacked, but he's still in range of the Diva, trying to slice through that armor, but the boop gonna secure the Diva in the moment, creates a notable space. Apudo tries to turn it around, drops the EMP, but the effect so far limited, and oh boy, Genji went to go flying traffic. Costa drops the beat.
Custa, the only support left alive. You can see how low his HP is, but Thailand just can't finish him off here. Australia holding strong on the point. Thailand forced into desperation speed picks just to be able to contest the point. But Tito already hacked. He's not making it.
Australia brings it back. They take map number 1. Thailand looked nothing but fearsome in round 1. They had their chances on round 2, and yet it's Australia in firm control at the very end, which of course does give them map 1.
I mean, for me, these Anas are both playing out of their mind. How many sleep darts have we seen? It feels like at least 10 or 15, ultimates, nano blades just completely slept and from both teams. So really impressive stuff from both sides on the Ana. I love to see this character back in the metagame.
Also, I kind of feel like Australia learned a lesson by the time we got to round number 3, which is that, wait, let's not wake up Tito-Wan, where previously in the other maps, you'd see Tito-Wan get slept. He's like, no, actually, I'm going to get woken up immediately. This is fine.
Yeah, I think both of those Anas were like, guys, stop waking up my sleeps. I'm hitting everything. Just let them sleep. We will 5v6 and win. Just trust me when I call the sleep dart. But it finally does work out there for Australia. Great plays taking map 1. Thailand's going to have to turn things around in the next map.
No doubt. I mean, look, just, trust your Anas. Let them get their beauty rest. That's what's important. But so far, this has been pretty close. I would argue that Australia definitely got momentum towards the end, but Thailand definitely showed strength there and the ability that, okay, they can potentially make this a very close series.
And I'm really impressed, especially with Australia. I watched their previous series against Denmark, and I felt like they were really over-relying on that Pharah because Denmark wasn't really making the right swaps to counter it. But now CKM showing that he can hang just as well in the Genji, getting a lot done on that character. So really showing their flexibility as Australia. They're not limited to any one composition. They're just trying to tech for their opponents, run the composition that's most effective against what you face.
No doubt. I mean, it's also important to have the versatility where you don't want to go in and then have people go, wait, we've seen the game tape of you. You just run a lot Pharah. We're just going to open Widow whether it makes sense or not. And in fact, we did see that on round 3, right? As part of that existing narrative where it's like, okay, Patafon came out on the Widowmaker, but all he ended up meeting, the Genji.
And Patafon also, it did even on that mid, even though Australia was running the Genji and the Lucio, sort of natural anti-Widowmaker heroes, Patafon had so many chances to land shots. He felt like he really just wasn't connecting and made the quick switch off Widow, just not feeling it. So maybe going to rely on his Genji a little more, and I do feel like that's been more successful for him.
Well, let's take a look at what the next map is going to be to give us a better idea of what we could be running into, and it's going to be Kings Row. So, of course, Kings Row tends to be a little bit more of a brawl map, a little bit more GOATS-esque 3-3 friendly than some of the other maps in the pool.
Yeah, Thailand maybe favoring this. It's going to force things onto that Sombra comp more often than any other map. Of course, those EMPs so devastating in the tight corridors of Kings Row. We've seen how effective those have been in every region nowadays.
Also, I mean, when it comes to that, you think about Oputo, right? Where when we told Oputo, do you like this meta? Biggest smile, no words. His facial expression told us all about it. It was like, I really like playing Sombra, and this is Sombra's time.
The man loves to play Sombra, but I've also seen great plays out of him on this Hanzo, so excited to see what'll come of this. Australia, if they do decide to go with this comp, I think they have a great chance. Thailand with that double sniper, classic Kings Row first defense composition, is a little bit vulnerable to that Genji. He can flank behind you, put pressure on those snipers from the angles that they just don't want to be defending. So nice composition from both teams. I'm excited to see how this matchup plays out.
And the interesting thing coming out here from Thailand, of course, is that we were just talking about Oputo Sombra, but he's going to be here on the defensive Hanzo. And look, we've seen Hanzos have phenomenal games on Kings Row. I'd argue that he's a little bit less in favor in recent times, but it's still certainly a hero that can have monster games if the circumstances are right.
Certainly, I mean, those picks are so threatening. Your ability to spam and just break shields is really great, especially against Reinhardt. The biggest change, of course, has been that modification to Dragon Strike, no longer able to be damage boosted by Mercy or Ana's Nana boost, which means that you just can't get through a Transcendent. So teams are not going to be as fond of running that Zarya-Hanzo combo.
All right, Australia going to be leaving the gates here in a moment. We'll see just how they set up.
Custa on Hanzo just for the Sonic, wants to scout for his team, get a little bit of positioning value, maybe scout somebody who doesn't realize that they've been scouted. Back on Lucio now, wants to use that speed boost to get CKM behind the back lines.
We got Huss coming up here on the alley side, gonna make the jump clean and easy. He played Castlevania at some point back in the day. And Australia, they're using Huss's info now to get some idea where to go. No, gets away from the sleep dart, going in for the Ana, but not able to finish. And meanwhile, Trill went in and got pummeled by Oputo.
Mickey dropping so low, but great retreat, perfect timing, goes back to his healers, and he's going to build both of their ultimates nearly to full. So great hold from Thailand. This first fight so impactful when both teams are playing the dive composition. Ultimates are really, really important here. Patafon with the Infrasight here could really shut down Australia. If they send that Sombra behind enemy lines, that Infrasight can really shut her down, force her to retreat and completely abandon her game plan.
And Infrasight is something you have to respect. Patafon under a lot of pressure, but the healing is there to where he doesn't have to care. Gonna use the Infrasight, knows where everyone is, looking for the supports in the back. back line, but then sees the Winston quite literally right behind him, and oh, the tree! Gonna be blocking his escape to that upper window. But Thailand still in a decent spot here. Australia poked down, but Mickey got caught out. Gonna lose the mech. Trill moves in the nano boost, and suddenly, just like that, Australia has found a way through.
That's a great slow play from Australia. Trill on low HP, and Thailand knows it, but instead of healing Trill up, they just wait until he's ready to reinitiate and nano him in for the heals, and that really surprises Thailand. They're setting up to spam him as he runs away, but instead he just goes straight into their backline, and that's gonna be first point for Australia.
You know, nano boost is the name of the ability, but I feel like in recent times it's been more like nano bait, where it's just like, yeah, we're just gonna go in there, it's totally fine. It's like, oh no, it's not fine at all.
And when you think about it, with that 50% damage resistance, it's really a 600 heal, and there's very few things in the game that can deal out 600 damage in quick fashion, so it's really so powerful when a team expects to be able to focus a target, but instead really just can't when the nano comes out.
Thailand for now looking to reset. They did buy some time here in the defense, but Australia, they're gonna have a lot to work with in this next fight.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates, but Huss with the EMP could shut things down, and it looks like almost everyone, but at least the Valkyrie comes out for Rocket.
And Rocket was keeping him up, but CKM is gonna put him right on down. The Dragon Blade, the excellent fall through coming on in. Lets Australia get through the blockade of Thailand, and as a result, they're gonna cleanly take the team fight and be well on their way to the apex of the second point.
Pattyfan committing the infra side here. Very interesting. Maybe he's going to retreat to spawn and make a composition swap. I'm surprised to see an infra side come out at this time. Maybe he just wants to make sure that he knows where Huss and CK want to set up, but that will be ending before Thailand is able to actually get back into the fight. So a little bit of a mistake there from Pattyfan.
Australia, of course, now one fight away from getting point B. You see a Kraken here in the back holding on to the nano boost. And the key here is look at who he drops nano on. Right now, looking to be more Winston. Winston gonna dive on in. Now waiting, Bionade onto Mickey, takes him down. You see the Dragon Strike coming in from Thailand, but doesn't get as much done as they'd want. CK might be down, but Trill certainly in. Finishes off Pudo, looking to make more space, and the payload moving all the while as he goes for those juicy knockouts in the pit, but instead, it's time to take a nap. Oh no, execution, not again!
Oh, he manages to just barely slip out of there, drop all the way to 15 HP. Nice saves from his team there, keeping that Winston up, so impactful here.
That was actually one of the most brutal things I've seen in Overwatch. You see the Widow just dropping on over, gun pointed at Winston. Yikes.
And again, Pattyfan a little bit questionable on his infra side timing. He pops it so early. Australia has the opportunity to just wait it out, not commit, and they're really not going to get the value they want out of that. Oh, but Pattyfan doesn't need the infra side, just pops Huss.
Gets Huss out of it, and Huss has been a constant threat to the backline of Thailand, so once he's out of the fight, they don't have to worry about watching their backs. They can just look at what is in front of them.
Thailand, though, has a bit of a moment of stress and danger here, just making this big composition swap onto the Ryan and Zarya. They're very low on ultimates, and a Kraken and CKM coming up on that Nano Blade combination. Maybe they won't need to hear a huge EMP from Huss.
Huss sets up with the EMP, Pataphan nowhere to go, and Trill more than willing to roll in and get the cleanup with CKM, and that's the power of a good EMP. Sets up your team really, really well.
Apudo still alive, pouring in the damage, but he's all alone. Just is on to help him. They're chasing him down. If Apudo can retreat to the spawn, this could be such a late death. That's going to really cost Thailand in this final contest, especially Nano Blade already ready for a Kraken and CKM.
He's going in.
The spawn.
No chill whatsoever, and he goes, what is the strange yellow door that blocks me from chopping you off? But they find Mickey in the corner, so it's okay.
Nano Blade gets nothing but zones at the team. Mickey falls, and now it's a 5v6, but Pattyfan turning it around, killing the main healer from Australia.
Sound barrier in Australia, feeling it right now. They feel this opportunity. Hammer coming in, knocks down one. Tina one goes for the pin, gets a pick off on Trill, but Thailand is out of numbers here. They need a little bit more, and yet Australia, they haven't gotten here yet. Pataphan continues to get kill after kill from the top, and he might have done enough to give Thailand new life.
Pattyfan really finding his footing here on the Widowmaker. This last point, so difficult to break the Widowmaker. She can sit in these incredibly defensive long sidelines. One of the few points in Overwatch where it feels almost impossible to just dive the Widowmaker in the classical sense. It usually relies on your Widowmaker taking the duel. So Pattyfan, if he can stay hot on the Widow, could be bringing a big full hold here for Thailand.
Australia, they need to have an answer for it, and that answer, it feels like it'd have to be CKM.
Certainly. CKM, though, very quick, almost on another Dragon Blade, and a Kraken going to come up on a Nano very, very quickly here. So potentially another classic triple O combo. That EMP Nano Blade just so devastating. All the damage and control that you could ask for in dive. But Mickey with the grab can always shut down the Nano Blade.
Mickey just sort of hiding out over here, where he's hoping for Australia to just dive on in and treat themselves to a grab. But for now, it's good poke coming up from Thailand. It's keeping Australia back. Australia has been hesitant to commit, but they get two pickoffs immediately. Trill found him in the back. And now Mickey gonna have to look behind him, but he's EMP'd. He can't drop the grab while you're EMP'd. And Trill continues his raid right into the back line.
Trill crushing with that primal, the EMP denying all the abilities, and Mickey's never gonna be able to get the grab. Australia capping with 1:45 on the clock. That's a great pace for Kings Row.
And you know what? You don't get to keep that grab from round to round, so that just goes into the ether. And it was interesting. What did you think about Mickey just kind of sitting there for the ambush? Because that was an angle that was really waiting for a super hard commit.
You know, I like the idea. You want to hide on that Graviton Surge, you know, bring it in from an angle they're not expecting, but I don't like the position he chose. Even though he was in maybe a spot that was a little bit more difficult to scout, it's still in LOS with his support. So, you know, Huss able to find an EMP that catches everybody, even with Mickey in that corner. So the positioning, they're really not getting him any value. I would have preferred to see him deeper on the flank on that right side.
And the other thing, too, about that setup as well is that he didn't really seem to have the ability to shield teammates as they're going in. So because they lost people early on that fight where Trill dove in, and it didn't really seem like Mickey had the LOS to actually save anyone. So it was just all in on that ambush.
Yeah, and at the same time, Patty found on the Widow really felt the pressure with his Ryan and Zarya that far back, you know, really holding the cart on that last point. There's not any space for that Widowmaker to find the pickoffs that she wants to do, to play on those long sidelines. So he's not able to produce the way he was in that last push. Australia looking very, very good here. Gonna come out on defense, hoping to just end Kings Row right here and go up 2-0.
And I mean, Australia, they're in a good spot here where I would argue that this is about the most average of Kings Row's times you can get, but it's still good, right? Where it's not something offense-wise to be like, wow, we blew them away, but on the same note, you can kind of look at it and go, this is fine.
I think it's more the way that they won that looks so good for Australia. It didn't really feel like a massive, individual skill, you know, they're just being outskilled. It felt really team coordination. Australia just had a better grasp of the ultimate economy, just using things a little bit more effectively, getting more chances, you know, using those EMPs to just deny the ultimates from Team Thailand. So great understanding coming in from Australia. They should be feeling confident, especially going into more maps with this Sombra.
Well, one thing here, they do have swap ups. No Sombra in play, but they do have a Rat.
Certainly. Good to see the Junkrat here, bringing out this classic Orisa composition. Still effective, you know, really no matter what you do, this composition is going to be difficult to deal with. The Widowmaker behind an Orisa shield is a classic combo for a reason. It's so devastating to try and challenge.
Oh, alrighty, the trap strikes. D.Va stuck in place, has to burn a lot of defensive matrix charge early on, but it's a D.Va, so it's still okay.
This is going to be a big test for Thailand. How well will Patty Fan be able to surround and pick at the backline of Australia? But with no mercy on the side of Australia, any pick could spell disaster for them. T-Walk getting in the face of the Zenyatta and the Widow, but forced to back off, just too much damage poured in.
Quite a bit of pressure being put on Australia, but they fire back to get Mickey out of the back immediately, but Huss is down. Patafon was able to find him, pressing into the back. Ends up getting forced out, though, as Australia now exerting their pressure back onto that point. Patafon, I guess, going for a little bit ult charge here. That doesn't seem likely with most of the team down, and he's just going to get chased on down. CKM sets up the mine, trying to block his escape, and yet he's still alive.
Patafon forced the dash defensively. That really spells the end of the push. Of course, this dive comp really relies on the dash resets from Genji. Once you really don't have that ability ready anymore, it's very, very difficult to commit. So Australia getting the first, and Huss takes on Patafon again. This could be another retreat for Thailand. Petitoat already went in and just gets farmed for ult charge. Trill coming up on those bongos, and Punk with the self-destruct. And so Australia has really gotten over the hump here. Normally, you really rely on the Mercy, keeping those supports alive. You know, if you lose your Zen, at least you can res him. But with the Ana and Zen, once they both have their ultimates, things look really grim for Team Thailand. That really gives you answers to anything Thailand wants to bring out. You have the Trance for the Nano Blade or the EMP, and you have your own Nano to protect a single target that gets hacked and focused.
And you mentioned ult charge. Australia's about to be fully charged online. They're going to open up the infra site here. They see everything. CKM can have the tire of his life right now. Sees the opponents behind him, so just going to relax a little bit, throw in a little bit of damage, get safe. Once you get safe, what are you going to see here? You're going to see the tire. Tinawan out of the fight. Australia gives up a tick for free here, and yet they're being conservative, right? They're saving their ultimates. They're trying to win without using them. And to your point earlier about ultimate economy, this is smart.
Yeah, CKM realizes he doesn't even need the Riptire with Huss finding those early picks. Team Thailand's composition really relies on having everybody all alive at the same time, so CKM wisely understanding he doesn't need a Riptire except when things look grim. The Riptire can be a great counter to the Genji Blade.
Huss in trouble, Patafon coming in here, Nano boosted Genji, but gonna run into the Transcendence. Bob's not back, can't finish up, get the pick off, and here comes the tire, straight to run you right on over. Finds Tinawan, and the tank is down. 5 on 5, Mickey though, about to get T-Max, but Thailand has still struck deeply into Australia here. They've gotten trade-offs back and forth, and even if they can't immediately go in because CKM, they'll have a chance, but Ana, you can't get picked up. It does! Huss, the party gift, but respawn advantages with Thailand.
Respawn advantage making a really big impact there. Great EMP from Apudo. Doesn't let that Orisa use her Fortify, doesn't let the Diva use her Self-Destruct, and without those tanks to contest point, things really fall apart for Team Thailand. Characters like Junkrat, like Widow, like Zed are not good at defending that point contest. So great use of the EMP by Thailand, shutting down those characters that Australia really relies on to protect the objective, and at that point things just crumble. But still, not a bad first defense for Team Australia.
What does Thailand have to do to make up time here?
At this point, you need to start building this snowball, and I like the decision to go Rein Zarya. A very naturally snowbally comp, especially with the new changes to Zarya. Energy's lasting a lot longer, so if you can get a great fight, end it with 100 energy, it's a massive difference maker going into that next fight.
Well, you got the early hack coming out here from Thailand, trying to make a little bit of room. Here comes self-destruct from Australia, though. They dive in with it, but Thailand takes cover in the library. So far, not worse for the wear. They need to get healed up, though. Titawat in real trouble. Pudo at 1 HP falls, and Titawat still low for a long period of time. Thailand just lacking in healing. Denny's wasn't quite able to get to them for a while. Australia being more and more aggressive here. They get the hack on Drive, but here comes the Genji. Diving on in, Patapon gets one, looking for more, makes it two. Do we have three? Yes, we do. Patapon opens the way for Thailand.
Great Nano Blade there coming after Patapon. Sweet combo to see, and especially really great for Thailand. They're coming up on their double tank ult and also their EMP, that Graviton EMP. There's really no counters to that in the game. If you can get a big enough Graviton and deny everyone's abilities, there's not much they can do to deal with that. So if this looks like a clean second cap as well for Thailand, Australia taking that fight just a little too late to give themselves a final recontest.
And Australia, I'm not even sure they're going to be able to get back into time. Are they really going for it right now? They don't get their time, but they do take the fight. The worst of both worlds. Thailand going in deeper. What a shatter! Titawat says, get on down. Mickey bringing the party on the other side. Picks up two, and Thailand is reinvigorated.
This is what Thailand had to do, but CKM, oh my god, finding 3 as the last one alive. That's incredibly impressive Genji play, and that's really going to stymie Thailand's advance. They would have loved to get way deeper into the spawn, but CKM shutting it down and building his own Dragon Blade in the process. What an insane comeback right there.
Absolutely, and Huss, though, in the back, close to an EMP. Gotta think he's gonna set them up soon.
Certainly. This is up to both Sombras here. Huss doesn't have his EMP quite yet, though. Oh, but Apudo's hack gets canceled and forced out. That's going to give Huss the time he needs.
We'll see what Huss does here. He does have that window. CKM with the blade. Australia. Here he gets it up. There's the blade. EMP in. Mickey with the grab, but I don't think that was quite good enough as CKM gets two off the EMP. Trill going to finish off the rest in Australia. They invest a lot, but they get a lot.
CKM going down the Graviton Surge, but already put the work in, taking down the supports from Team Thailand, and there's no coming back from that. Australia with a spawn advantage is going to hold strong here, and with so many ults to work with only their DPS ultimates left to build, really, CKM and Huss can really just play this fight very, very easily. They have 2 tank ults, 2 support ults to protect them and enable them to farm their ults again, so Australia is sitting very pretty here on last point.
And he's in the back. Oh, doesn't quite land the sleeve. It was close, but Trill blocks it with the bubble, and now on the nano boost, tearing through Thailand with the rest of his team. Thailand not going to get much off that push.
This is a conversation we've seen a lot out of Team Thailand. Titawat on that solo tank Rein, relying on Miggy to be sort of that pseudo tank and an additional brawling force, but I really don't like this. It's going to deny you a lot of the combos that you would normally have with a character like Vegeta, and I think she's really going to struggle to deal with the amount of value that an Ana and a Lucio are outputting.
All right, well, we're going to be rolling to the next fight. Let's see what the nano boost is going to be. Patapon gets the nano boost. The blade comes out once more. Gets one. The crowd's loving it. Looking for another. In the back. Makes it 2. Has to play away the blade, but it doesn't mean you can't have 3. Thailand makes it 1 through. Once more. And now, with the crowd behind them, 1:30 left here at Kings Row, and they are rolling.
Thailand making me eat my words here, but Australia still with a few ultimates to work with. If Trill can make it out with the Primal Rage, if Custa can have a big beat drop here, they could turn this fight and hold last point.
They drop the beat, but Titawat drops the hammer. Into the pin you go. Snooze that one off, Punk, as Titawat gets the shatter he was looking for. Australia absolutely in trouble. You have a blade up from CKM, but he's immediately bumped. Mickey shuts him down. And Thailand, goodbye, Custa, and we still got a game.
Wow, Thailand looking really clean there on that last offense. It seemed like Australia had a lot to work with, but just not able to make any of it work. Those hacks from Apudo coming off perfectly. Trill not able to use that Primal Rage, one of the best stall ultimates in the game. So great awareness from Apudo. Knows the Primal Rage is coming, hacks in, preemptively shuts it down. This is anybody's game here on Kings Row.
And I gotta say, this is a contrast back to 2017 on the other end for Australia, where the Australian crowd, of course, was absolutely crazy supportive back in Sydney. But now these Australian players getting a taste on the other end, where the Thai crowd here could not be more in love with what they're seeing right now.
Good to see the home team support. Hopefully that's going to bolster Thailand, and they're really starting to come alive here, making their unique compositions work. Maybe, I mean, this has been a theme we've seen a lot in the World Cup. Sometimes playing the composition that really just suits you and your style as individuals and as a team is better than playing something that you think is theoretically stronger. If you feel comfortable, that can make a way bigger difference than the metagame.
Also, I mean, I would be remiss, that's all great points, but we just had a fan dab on camera. That takes just internal fortitude is what I would say.
Cease this at once. I'm hoping CKM can do big things here on the Junkrat. Australia with a small time bank advantage, but we've seen this doesn't always add up to a victory here on a map like Kings Row. These hybrid maps can be so finicky with these overtime snowballs.
And of course, Kings Row, we already saw a crazy overtime battle earlier in the day between Sweden and China. Or can we see it here again?
This is a big, what's most important here is to watch the Genji's Blade Charge and Panny S's Nano Boost Charge. The Nano Blade and the EMP are really going to be the key combos to crack this defense open for Team Thailand. I wonder if they take a different approach this time. It looks like they want to flank through the hotel and put some pressure on from behind.
I don't think Pandy's got that memo. He's going to chill out here by the Mondata statue. Kind of dangerous to a degree, but we'll see just how it works. Thailand putting bodies on the point. Australia a little bit slow to respond as Huss is down. Patafon was able to find him. Now Titawat going a little bit more aggressive. It's 5-on-5 here, but the respawn edges with Thailand. They get CKM. Mickey. Oh, okay. Total mayhem. CKM revenge from the grave. And yet Thailand almost about on 2 ticks. Australia not really setting the pace here as it's back and forth. But again, if you're on offense, you're fine with these trades.
Such a low number situation is going to favor those respawners. At this point, Huss coming back on the Tracer, and now Australia finds themselves in a strange position. Caught out with Huss on the Tracer. He's going to have to go back to another character. Most likely, I would be surprised to see the Tracer continue to play on Kings Row streets. Thailand with a big ultimate advantage. This could be the start of a massive snowball.
And we're going to see Huss go back to Sombra, and you're absolutely right. The only reason we went Tracer was to get back out there earlier, but Huss, he's been at home on the Sombra here so far.
Certainly, but this is a massive opportunity for Team Thailand. Australia is going to have to be very disciplined here. They probably shouldn't even try to win this first fight with how big the ultimate disadvantage here. They need to set up for a fight that they really have good odds on. But Apudo doesn't want to let any of that happen. He wants to win this fight without a single ultimate.
Oh, he's caught!
The back line.
They catch him. They were checking for Sombra in the back. They get him asked out, but he's still going to get what he's wanted. Oh, what a sleep on the trail! Sleeping while Nano boosted again. It's Panties with an excellent sleep dart. Gives Thailand a lot of time. Now Titawat going for a little bit of Zenyatta, juggling the fairest of games of all, and he forces out the Transcendence, gets the on-out position, and this is looking good for Thailand.
Australia wants to try to win this fight, but they're paying so many ultimates. Things are looking really great for them if they can't win this fight, but a crack and somehow manages to take out Patty and sleep Titawat. What a play!
All these Winstons are sleeping on the job. Self-destruct, make some room. Thailand, you got to get back on the point. Still on it, in on the moment. Australia, though, looking to evict them as we speak. And you see Huss so close to the EMP. Mickey down, CKM piling on, and the payload's going to stop right there.
My jaw just dropped. A Kraken, what an insane clutch. Sleeps the Nano Winston and just snipes down the Genji, taking on the dive all by himself. That is a next level auto play. Thailand had no business losing that fight, but a Kraken said, I put my foot down here. We are committing, we are winning. So Australia turning a potentially very dangerous situation into one that's very winnable for them.
I feel like the Honest today are in some sort of like absolutely ridiculous game of one-upsmanship. Like, I feel like I'm watching the Overwatch equivalent of the old Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, McDonald's commercial where they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot this basketball over the skyscraper, off the left bank, down on in. It's actually nuts as to what we're seeing right now, and I couldn't love it anymore.
Yeah, they're both Honest on a whole nother level, finding so many Nano boosts, but it really doesn't feel like the Nanos are doing anything because they're always sleeping. So great plays coming out from both teams. I love to see Honest making big plays here on the big stage.
All right, well, we got ourselves a game here so far. Thailand gets pretty far in. Australia, of course, certainly they have the time to do just the same. Both Annas, of course, just enjoy the watch, and we'll see where this brings us, but it could very easily be 1-1 into the half.
I'm quite surprised to see Thailand coming back on this double sniper composition. It didn't seem to be incredibly effective for them last round, and these ultimates are not really effective as stymieing a cart push if Australia does manage to activate the cart. So Thailand is really committing to this first point defense. They want to get these picks and just not let Australia have a single chance, but that's on Patty Fan and Apudo to constantly produce.
Meanwhile, Australia coming through the gates. We'll see just how they set up here. If they're going to be able to get on the Patathon early on here or not, they're going to go on the right side of the statue, saying, you know what, maybe we're not going to book something into the hotel. Not just yet. Huss coming around the right-hand side, trying to get some intel, doesn't have it here just yet. And now he's looking for the Ana, has it in his sights, de-stealths and dodges the sleep. Pressure coming in, rocket down on the other side. Ana trouble on the other, and the support for Thailand might be in danger.
A lot of damage coming into the players on Team Australia, but no one falling, able to retreat to their supports and get healed up again. Things are looking really good for Australia with Rocket down.
This is really good, and yeah, Rocket's going to be out of the fight for quite a while. Pudo even getting Huss. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Australia, they've built up a residence here on the point. Thailand, though, still going to try and move on in, but already just punishment to the back. It's CKM and Trill, the Nano Winston, setting up the Genji, and Australia will get this party started. The payload is on its way.
CKM and Trill doing what Titawat and Patty Fan couldn't. This Genji Winston combo is so dangerous, and now a lot of ultimates to work with for Team Australia, but they don't even want to take an ultimate fight. They're trying to spawn camp these late spawners on the side of Team Thailand. Will they be punished for this aggression?
We'll see. Certainly teams do this to make some space, but it can backfire. Trill falls. And don't forget, we're going to be heading into one-fight territory here, Jake, as Thailand does have some room. And they go deeper. They get a Kraken. A punch from afar.
Thailand gonna clear the card here, but here's where we see the impact of Australia's better time deck from the last round. If they had the same time deck as Thailand, this would be all over here, but they have one last opportunity to touch the card. Nice Dragonfly from Apudo though, potentially shutting it down, but Huss is in position to recontest.
5 seconds left. We're in overtime. One fight margin. Thailand would love to make this 1-1. Self-destruct. Run into back by Punk. Gets nothing. The library for shelter. Titawat going on in. Primal Rage ready. Meanwhile, TKM, the blade is up. 2 are down for Thailand. And the barrier is keeping Australia all the safer, all the while. And what a sleep. That's how you punish Doomfist. He takes to the skies. But I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Not sticking up the burst here. They could be punished for it, but Patty Fan not able to find the punish from this Genji. The verticality too difficult to deal with. Australia with total card control, and with these slow spawns of overtime, that's King's Row. Australia running into the blue box of victory, ending it here, King's Row. The half goes 2-0. Great plays by Australia.
Australia keeping it in the clutch. They defeat Thailand here at King's Row. One map from the series, but man, if it hasn't been close.
Certainly, we've seen so many big plays from both sides here, somehow managing to pull it out. Thailand with that slightly worse time bank comes to bite them in the end there. That first round really having a big impact there for Team Australia.
And it is a sort of testament to the idea that even though you get extra time and overtime, how you do in the initial set of rounds, it matters. Because as you mentioned there, if it was about 30 seconds less, that would have been it. It would have been Thailand's game.
Certainly. I like to see this aggression coming out of both teams, though. It really feels like both teams are trying to assert their dominance on the game. Each wants to take control. Neither is really playing defensive. They're both trying to use these Sombra scouts to get in and take the fight on their own terms. So I'd like to see that clash from both teams. And we see how the game evolves throughout the series. We're seeing more and more Sombra checking as time goes on. Both teams aware that their opponent's Sombra is constantly in the back line. And when you get those little scouts, forcing that Sombra out gives you that 5-6 second window, Sombra time. You can make a play now. There's no hacks to come when that Sombra's forced to retreat. And when you capitalize on those 5-6 second windows, that's a good way to show your talent as a team.
All right, guys. Well, you know what? We want some extra insight here. We're going to go to a fan favorite. We got Zoe with Mickey on the floor.
I'm now joined by Mickey from Team Thailand. Mickey, I'm so happy to get to talk to you in your home, in your own home. How has it been for you to be back in Thailand?
It's very, for me, I really like it. I really like Thailand. I really like to be home. Also, I also miss my family and my friends. Also food, Thai food. Have you ever tried Thai food yet?
Yes, I have, and I love it. Who doesn't, right? So you talked about family and friends. Are they here today, or will they come over the weekend and cheer you on in your team?
I mean, my family is here, but some of my friends are here too.
Anything you want to say to them?
I love all of them. I mean, I also love my fans too.
He loves everyone. You know, that's Mickey, a beacon of positivity. Now, let's be serious here for a second. Let's talk about the games. The last map ended up being really close on King's Road. You almost got the W there. What's missing? What do you need to clean up for the next half?
Well, the first map, also the close one. We almost won the first map and second map, but I think we have to work on the last fight, because most of the time we lost the last fight. And also I think Thailand team has a positivity energy, and I think we're gonna do great on third and fourth map, and we're gonna go to the fifth map.
All right, fifth map. Here's a promise for you. Can't wait. Mickey, thank you so much. I'll let you get back and actually huddle up with your team and talk some strats for the second half. Good luck for that, and thank you very much for joining me. We're now heading into a quick break, and then we're back with Australia facing off against Team Thailand.
The Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's fastest network ever. And by Omened by HP, the official PC of the Overwatch World Cup.
And we're back here in Bangkok at the Overwatch World Cup, where the home team Thailand, they're down 0-2, looking for a way back against Australia. But so far, they've been striking a little bit too close for Australia's comfort. Will they be able to make a turnaround? We're going to have to see.
Yeah, and we heard from Mickey, Thailand just crumbling in those last fights, not able to bring it together, but those first two maps were so close. I would not be totally surprised to see a comeback here, especially by the home team. But by the same token, for some teams, being that away team can actually be an advantage. You know, some people take a special sense of glee in quieting down that loud crowd.
You know, the way you're looking at me, I feel like you're one of those people who's like, yes, I want to crush the dreams of the crowd. I respect that. I respect it a lot.
Yeah, it certainly feels good to know that when they start cheering, it's because you're doing something right. So Australia capitalizing on that energy. We'll see if they're able to take it over and just end things here on Temple of Anubis.
Of course, Temple of Anubis, this is going to be the pick coming in from the Thai team. So you'd think that they're pretty comfortable on it here. Obviously, we've seen a mix of different looks from them here today. From what you know of the Thailand team, what do you think they need to do here to get one over Australia?
I think it comes down to exactly as Mickey said, relaxing and just playing those last fights cleanly. I mean, they're winning these earlier fights. They're getting the better of those earlier engagements. But then when the pressure's on, you know, they're maybe crumbling, maybe doing things a little differently. Just relax. I mean, if you've been winning the other fights, don't change anything. If the enemy hasn't been able to deal with your strategies, don't change something for the last fight just because it's the last fight. Just keep it rolling, keep playing. So if I'm Mickey right now, I'm getting back into the game. I'm just saying, guys, calm down. We got this. Let's give it our best shot. And we know the positivity the Team Thailand has, especially through Mickey, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them come back. And Temple of Anubis, a map that plays to Apudo's strengths. He's going to be able to play Sombra probably the whole map if he wants to. It really has high impact here.
No doubt about it. Of course, we're going to be looking at the teams as they come on out here. And, you know, it'll be interesting to see what looks we end up seeing. Obviously, this map in particular is one where we see a lot of what we saw. And yet Thailand doesn't seem to be rolling out with that. They are rolling out with the Hammond. So not quite going to be your average Anubis defense.
I'm a little bit sad. This is where we would love to see that Junkrat come out. Punk maybe faking the Junkrat just a little bit, but Thailand wants to go with this more aggressive dive composition here, and I do like the setup here. You know, if Australia ends up running a Widowmaker, they could be really punished by that Hammond Sombra Doomfist. That's a composition that's able to reach very, very deep in your spawn in its initial initiation. Apudo is going to be able to scout things out, make all the calls for Team Thailand, let them know where to dive, and that makes such a huge difference for Pattyfan and the Doomfist. One of Doomfist's biggest weaknesses is if he has to use his cooldowns to scout, but Sombra can really ameliorate that by scouting for you and allowing you to blind initiate around corners and get right on those juicy, squishy supports.
But with no Mercy, no shield tank, is that going to be reliable for a full hold?
Well, it's going to be about those initiations, getting them clean and consistent, and getting Apudo to that EMP so they can start that ultimate cycle. Australia, though, looking to get this first fight win. This is probably their best chance.
We'll see just how this works out. Huss, of course, going to the back, setting things on up, and Thailand being highly aggressive, but it's not decisive, really, in how they go in. Australia is able to shake it on off, and now I'd argue Thailand is a bit with the tail between their legs here, as Mickey is getting really wounded in the back.
Huss managing to take down Apudo, maybe with the hack there. Huss, though, taken down by Pattyfan. Pattyfan can start to snowball here, finds two, maybe gets more. Mickey takes down a Kraken, but a few going down for the side of Team Thailand. I mean, they are cleaning up this fight, but that Pepita will not be back when Australia's spawners are there.
Huss was just gifted the Pattyfan there from Panties, but see what works out as Australia regroups. And even if there was a spawn advantage, I think it's going to be gone by the time they get back.
Nice decision-making by Custody here. Doesn't want to play Lucio into that Sombra Doom. Two characters with the movement control to deny Lucio his classic wall-riding ability. So the Mercy, and also love to see this, the Pharah, very difficult to deal with for Team Thailand. Essentially, their only answer is a hack from Apudo, and if he can't find that, CKM is going to run rampant.
I want to have faith that Pattyfan can somehow punch the Pharah out of the air. It's not super likely, but man, would it be cool. We see Thailand, though, holding the back. They go in off the Hammond. You're going to see the Nano Boost move on in. Mickey controlling the top, not letting the Pharah go up there, but Pattyfan ends up getting picked off. And it was a Nano Boost on the Apudo, where not usually the most ideal Nano target. So Thailand now, down a player. Australia, rejuvenated, moving on in. Oh, wow! Apudo able to get that CKM from long range.
But Trill punishing with a Nano Boost of his own. Supports for Australia dropping so low but saving each other. And Custa's almost with the Valkyrie. Trill, combo rage on point, gonna commit it. Doomfist is hacked, no movement control to shut down this Winston.
Trill right now making a little bit of space, looking for more, diving on in. Doesn't want to get slept, of course. But Australia, they're on trouble on the backhand side. Custa steps into a mine, and Thailand keeps the fight to Australia. This is great to watch. 2 minutes off the clock.
Tituan looking very, very good on this Hammond. Pattyfan finally getting a little bit of momentum here on the Doomfist, and with the EMP, this is a great opportunity to continue the snowball. Huss dies late, nice hack from Apudo.
Yeah, Huss not getting out of there that time as Thailand. This defense, it's been a lot more durable than expected, I'd say.
And Thailand with only one ultimate, also the Nano Boost as well. So two ultimates, but if you're gonna have one ultimate, you'd rather it be an EMP, shutting down those enemy ultimates, really reducing any advantage that Temple lead might give. Thailand maybe looking for a full hold here.
I think they're on their way. Mickey's been doing such a good job of holding on to the top, so they have Thorn on Australia's side. The EMP drops off, and oh boy, CKM finally has enough of Mickey, gets him off the top. Suddenly he has a path. Multiple pickups coming here for Australia. Thailand might have dove a little bit too hard in that particular instance, as now we're going to see Australia just easily get to point A.
and both Sombras we saw running into each there, both realizing that the other was right next to them, but Huss a little bit more decisive, instantly drops that EMP. Apudo tries to, but gets caught in the animation and loses his ultimate charge. So great play from Huss, completely shutting them down, and CKM just completely destroying them. No abilities to deal with the barrage, there's no answers.
Now, to be clear, that's still pretty good defense coming out from Thailand. They burned 3 minutes off the clock, and it's not really a snowball situation.
Certainly, but it doesn't feel like they really have an answer for CKM's Pharah here. I mean, again, it's going to be all on Apudo and Panties to find that initiation.
We're going to see the highly aggressive engagement from Thailand. Use an Nano boost, throw it on Winston, dive on in, and they get a Kraken, but I'm not sure it's really working out the way they want. They're going to get punished. CKM unaccounted for, just getting on Thailand before they're able to retreat, and now Australia going to get some really valuable positioning here if they play their cards right.
Picks going both ways though, which will favor the defenders with their much closer spawn position. Mickey gets punished for his self-destruct by Punk, but it looks like Thailand is going to stabilize here. CKM backing off of the Pharah, doesn't want to get caught out, just wants to get that clean reset. And now almost all 6 ultimates ready for Team Australia. As soon as this EMP is ready, I would expect to see them pick quickly. Apudo a little bit behind on that EMP charge.
Meanwhile, look to CKM, he's really fishing for the barrage, but Costa's down! And even though the barrage is nice, it picks down 2. You're down your mercy. Thailand has done enough. Both supports for Australia down, and this push as good as done.
Great aggression there from Team Thailand. Apudo with the scout recognizes that that Mercy is catchable, and committing is Patty Fan. On the Winston here, I love to see this. The DPS player playing Winston to enable Titawa to stay on that Hammond, and now this triple tank Sombra, such an aggressive composition. These tanks can all be scouted for and set up for by Apudo. But Huss, huge EMP gets all 3 tanks.
It's a nice EMP to set the stage. They use it to get the Brigida on the other end. Australia worth the man advantage. The tanks for Thailand. We're down for a while from the EMP, and right now Australia is not stopping. Pick off after pick off. Trill pummels Panties right in the back. And you see Australia now start to move on to the point. The EMP comes up for Apudo, but where's the bomber going to be? Your time team's dead. What are you looking for there? CKM continues to rain down rockets.
Winston's bubble takes down the entire minefield, essentially neutralizing that ultimate. Mickey hacked again, can't escape this situation. CKM on the air here. There's no more Diva to stop these rockets. He's completely cleaning up these tanks, but the Brahma Rage is going to get a little bit too much help with that Winston.
Thailand right now desperately trying to delay Australia. Looking for more Nano boosted Pharah. Oh, gets slapped, but not before Rocket falls. Gonna res the fallen, but it's Australia fighting against the tide right now. And yet, they've got a few pickups. There's life in Australia yet. Thailand, the foot off the gas, the Nano Pharah didn't quite work out for them as well as they wanted. And suddenly Thailand is getting back to the brink.
Mickey, great swap on the Roadhog, gets a ton of value in these late fight situations, but get hacked and maybe potentially will fall here. Australia looking to stream back in with their respawners. Very risky to commit to a fight like this, though.
This is actually pretty okay for Thailand, even though it's so close to being a capture. They've locked Australia into this back and forth brawl where both teams are trading out, but the defense loves that. The defense craves it, and Australia finally realizes what's going on, and they get out.
This is a classic assault situation. It's so hard to have the discipline to back out of those fights. They feel so winnable for Australia, but they're just not able to convert, and even making a few desperation swaps to get back, that's going to cost them a lot of ultimates. Huss, though,
oh, okay, that was real close to being a real letter number situation. As Trill on the other end deals with Titawa, who is far out. Huss drops the EMP to a Thailand team in disarray. Australia has already picked off 2. They're coming back on in, and Thailand does not have room. And a part of that is because so much early progress from Huss has set them up. Thailand has no room for error.
Certainly here, Mickey not able to find that self-destruct in time, just instantly taken down, not able to remake. Now it's just tanks streaming back into the point for Team Thailand. They're desperately trying to restore and somehow get this hold. The Powder Rage comes out. Australia might have some damage problems, especially with CKM going down.
Australia, they desperately want to finish this, and Thailand stubbornly not falling. Patafon on the Winston gets the primal pickoff with the Nano boost. Thailand coming back into the fight once more. Australia, you're down to the final minutes.
Really, the difference maker there was taking down CKM before that blade was coming out. The crowd roars. They love to see Thailand coming back from these very dangerous break scenarios, but Thailand certainly not going to feel comfortable with fight wins like that. That was too close for comfort.
Apudo holding the EMP now, something that could be key to this next fight. CKM has the blade. That interaction can be real good, although Apudo so close to getting picked off. Luckily he's able to get away, drops the EMP, gets perhaps enough, he's punished. Australia's able to shrug a lot of that off. However, the trade-outs mean they can't get a clean fight, and they're down to their final 20 seconds.
Titawat doesn't want to commit there, doesn't want to feed in these final seconds. That's good decision-making, good patience, even if he could have potentially caught Costa there. But a lot of ultimates coming up for Australia. If Huss can get this initial touch to start the fight, potentially with the EMP as well, Australia could be looking at an overtime cap here.
We'll see what happens down to the final second. CKM, Nano Blade up, the Kraken down for Australia, and Patafan was able to get both supports in the back. CKM got Precious Little with the Dragon Blade, and Thailand, they're gonna hold firm here at point B. The crowd is roaring, and overtime starting to tick away. Australia unable to get on through. Thailand holding firm here on Anubis.
You know, we've seen a lot of DPS players make the swap to Winston to enable their main tank to play the Hammond, but Pattyfan looking better than anyone else I've seen doing that same role swap. Looking really good on this Winston. Great engages, constantly getting on the back line, shutting down those heals from a Kraken and Custom. We saw the plays they made last map, so really great to see that attention given to the supports.
Let's just be clear on Patafan, by the way. DPS main, by the way.
Yeah, DPS main, but bringing it out on Winston, not a character that many DPS players are that comfortable on, so it's good to see that flexibility come to bear. That's not even a role swap I think we've ever seen in the Overwatch meta, not for a long time certainly, so it's cool to see players with their unique specialties able to enable their teams to play in unique swap styles that others can't just can't do. If you know, if your DPS player just can't play Winston, then you're forced into, you know, strange, weird compositions that you don't want to be playing just to sort of enable those hero pools.
So for Thailand, of course, they're now the masters of their own destiny. All they need to do to take the map, to keep the series in contention, is simply capture point B.
There will be no draws here on Temple of Anubis. 94% is the goal for Thailand. Of course, on point B, gonna have to get through point A first. Australia with a composition that's really designed to deny them on that point A. Junkrat and Widow, if they can start to snowball those picks, can really shut things down for Team Thailand. But Thailand as well get a big ultimate bank, and we saw how dangerous that was. Team China playing this comp to perfection. Thailand, of course, following in their footsteps, says, hey, maybe we can do that too. And, of course, they do have the players to fit that Genji and Sombra role, so it makes a lot of sense.
And I have to ask, what do you think about the swap-ups we're seeing for Australia here, where we see Huss at times go Sombra, at times go Widow? How do you feel about how Australia is just deciding to run these compositions?
Very interesting to see both players with DPI switches here. Certainly going to want to play with probably a little lower sensitivity than that on a Widowmaker.
No, absolutely not. You want to just breathe on your mouse and get the headshot.
Ooh,
that's how it works.
Love this trap. Love it, love it. Because that's a trap that's going to catch a Genji or a Sombra. Both of those characters are going to want to fly through that middle window, so we'll see if it ends up paying off here. Great decision-making from CKM.
I do really just want to watch a trap and see, okay, is someone going to step on it? Because I think you're right. I do think it's Genji bait. We'll see just how it works. Oh boy, they're thinking about going up there, Jake.
And with Huss watching,
oh.
He slips past, manages to not fall in that trap. Makes a huge difference there. And now maybe we'll expect it this time? No.
Well, he hit the Widowmine before, not the trap. And now you see Huss. Yeah, Huss gets the pick off. Patafan, it's going to slow him down a bit, but he's back. You know, it's sort of Metal Gear Genji. He's got into the back line. No, there's no exclamation marks. He's fine.
Pattyfan trying to get this around here, needs to come in from behind, but Huss protected by his Brigida and his on it. It's going to be so difficult to dive this Widowmaker. You're just going to receive an instant bash into a potential sleep. Could always shut things down for the offense.
Well, you got Huss here in the back, not really under too much pressure, looking for the Diva D-Mac. 100 HP. Oh, not quite able to get around to the other side. Huss gonna back up, Genji in his face, and down he goes. It's Rocket, DPS Lucio in the back. Thailand now, not quite gonna get what they want. They get one pick off, but Australia still dangerously firm right now at this point.
Committing so heavily for the Widow. They're punished by the surviving members of Team Australia. CKM doesn't realize where the damage is coming from. Finally figures it out, gets saved by his teammates. Great stabilization there from Australia, punishing Thailand for focusing the Widow that aggressively. Of course, the Ana and Brigida able to sort of play free when they know that much pressure is being targeted at their Widowmaker.
All right, so Thailand doing a bit of change up here. And okay, I was going to say offensive Orisa. That's a little bit weird, Mickey, but no. Just wanted to get back in the Diva mech. Patafan on the Widow, but getting through the Orisa can be pretty hard as a Widow.
I'm very surprised to see the Widow swap here. This is not a traditional dive composition. Of course, Huss is going to have such a massive advantage, able to use A, a lead on Infrasight, but B, this Orisa shield, you know, a wall right in front of you. The enemy Widowmaker just can't deal with us. I don't expect to see us Thailand ever taking down this Orisa shield. Maybe they're going to rely on the EMP to do just that.
And meanwhile, of course, they have the Infrasight up, so you see Thailand basically stuck in a holding pattern here where they're just going, how do we actually move on in? And Australia, they're fine. Huss actually getting dangerously suspicious of the right-hand side. As Tito on falls, Huss able to rotate back over in time, gets the damage. CKM goes, you know what, let me just run some people over. Goes for the D-Mac. It's good containment right now from Australia.
Australia doing such a great job, and not even a tick for the side of Thailand. Huss has Pattyfan's number.
Not quite able to finish off Lucio, but that's why he can grapple on in and hit the wall and not hit Lucio.
And this is great mind games from Huss. You know, traditionally, if you're Thailand, you would expect to see the Widow playing behind the Crystal Shield, but Huss bucking that narrative comes from an alternate peek angle, and you see Pattyfan's just not ready for it. Swapping back to the Genji, a bit of indecision here from Team Thailand. They're stymied on first point. This EMP has to be huge by Apudo.
You're absolutely right. For Apudo, this EMP is the difference between series life and series death, where he's going to have the translocator in the upper right. He's going to rotate around, but Australia, the way they're positioning, they're not giving great EMP opportunities here. Do get the hack onto the D.Va, so they're working with that. Huss, oh, he had a great opportunity, doesn't connect, and that can come back to haunt them. Tito down deep and dirty, gonna primal rage, looking for the knockoffs. Move back the other way, CKM getting some value on the Junkrat to the backhand side. The Winston here is not as effective as what. Tito gonna fall, chunked on down, primal rage or no. And Australia is in firm control right now. Pattyfan's blown up. And now at map 3 of 4, Thailand down to the final 25 seconds.
Thailand committing the Primal Rage and the Nano Boost to that fight. Now they're in a really rough position in this final contest. CKM almost ready for the Riptire. When you're in these final seconds, forced to touch point, this is when the Riptire is absolutely most effective. It's going to be so hard for Pattyfan to get a good blade off here. But Apudo looking to EMP the high ground.
Goes for the EMP, and this is what they needed. Gives them the early initiation. They get the Orisa. CKM though, EMP's about roaring off. He's going to say, fire in the hole. Here comes the tire. Looking for anything. This could be the dagger. Thailand already down. It's going to get the D-Mac. And Australia, even though their point B attack, not so good. Their point A defense is actually sublime. Overtime ticking down. And Australia just a little bit away from taking the series.
What a huge pick down. Rocket for me in the fight. Thailand just trickling back in, forced to use the beat just to keep that point contest going. Tito completely controlled. Great team play there from Australia. Such tight coordination. It felt like they just couldn't get those the Ana or the Brigida pick. The both supports defending each other perfectly. Great use of the cooldowns by Custa.
Just when you think Thailand is going to go, okay, you know what, we're going to make this series, we're going to make the fourth and final map truly the battleground. Australia comes in big with that final hold, and I gotta say, the defense was just very calm, cool, and collected.
Certainly, we saw them retreating out of the fight when things started to look grim, and then recollecting with their teammates and taking the fight again. That's the discipline that you see from really top-level teams. Australia, very cool, calm, and collected in the clutch. Thailand, not so much.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to ask this here too. When you're a team and you have a really good defense, are there some times where collectively you can almost let your foot off the gas a little bit, thinking like, okay, the next push, it's going to be easy. We don't have to go that far. And then suddenly you just go, wait, we didn't even get point A.
I mean, that's what happens when you're maybe a little bit nervous. You're not exactly, you haven't maybe prepped as well as you would have liked. I saw a little bit of indecision there. Pattyfan making the switch to Widow, doesn't really find anything, doesn't feel comfortable, goes back to the Genji, and at that point, there's 3 minutes off the clock. You should have just stayed at Genji, get that Nano Blade, use those combos that your strategy is relying on. When you switch to the Widowmaker, that kind of takes the legs out from under your strategy. You still have the EMP and the Nano, but nanoing a Winston into an EMP is much less effective than a Nano Blade. So really, it felt like Thailand not so sure what they wanted to do there. It really felt like their strategy, maybe they lost a little bit of confidence there, and that's what you really hate to see.
No doubt about it. And one thing that's really worth noting here is for Thailand, this now, they're not eliminated, but it does make their path to BlizzCon much, much more difficult because, again, as noted, so far here in the Overwatch World Cup, there's yet to be a team that has gotten to BlizzCon after suffering 2 losses. And for Thailand, it would also mean that they would have to get through Sweden, get through China. They're not out of it, but man, they would like to win this 4th map, and they would like to get a little bit of help.
Yeah, they're definitely in a tough spot at this point, losing a little bit of control over their own destiny. They're going to have to rely on the other top teams dropping games that they shouldn't. Not a position you want to be in if you're Thailand. But remember, in this format, every map matters. So Thailand is going to be fighting tooth and nail to end this series 3-1 as opposed to 4-0.
Well, we'll see what they do to make that a 3-1. Let's take a look at the 4th map. What's it going to be? My guess would be Rialto, and yeah, it's going to be Rialto. So Rialto, again, it's like, you want a little bit of spice in your life, you bring it to Rialto.
When nothing's working, pick Rialto.
You know, I actually got an infamous reputation during the interviews with the players here. It's just like, I asked every team, so what do you think about Rialto? Because it is such a decisive map that oftentimes can really flip things on its head, that can be upset potential, and a lot of teams like playing it.
I feel that Thailand is not going to be as strong on this map as other teams are, though. I mean, this is traditionally a map that really favors those tanky Rein Zarya setups, and it doesn't feel like that's the way Thailand wants to play. So I'm a little bit surprised to see them taking it here as opposed to something like a Route 66 where that Sombra, that Genji are going to be really, really impactful. So Thailand feeling like they maybe want to go with those tankier setups, maybe just anything to change things up. I mean, when you're down 3-0, sometimes you have to just change things up and hope it works. So Thailand looking to reset the momentum, change the strategies, and just answer what Australia is doing, because so far they haven't been able to.
Now let me ask you this, given that Thailand just had a lot of trouble getting through point A on Temple of Anubis, and you know, that's sort of a sign that they're up against coordinated defense and also had some coordination issues of their own, right? What does that mean when you go up on Rialto, where point A Rialto is feared for good reason? It's real hard for offenses to get through on it.
Yeah, closing out that final meters of that Rialto first point has been really something that many teams just aren't able to do. So Team Thailand setting up with this double sniper composition, gonna give them a little bit more aggressive potential, but at the same time, I don't love this comp here from Team Thailand. It feels like what's pushed double sniper out of vogue is the Sombra. I mean, with that infinite stealth duration, you can scout those snipers, and once they're scouted and their locations are known, I mean, normally when you get scouted on a sniper, you recognize that. You see the Genji PQ, okay, now it's time to relocate, and then that information is lost. But against the Sombra, you never know when you've been scouted. You're always worried about that. So I really would be surprised to see the double sniper be successful here. Australia perfectly teched against it. The Diva and the Hammond, two of the best tanks against snipers. So difficult to sneak headshots through these tanks.
And it would be a testament to Hammond here as well, right? Where Hammond's a little bit weaker right now on the live client, where, you know, his dive is a little bit slower here in person, and yet teams are still running him from time to time where his natural strengths are just too much to ignore.
Well, we talked with Australia, and they said they think Trill is one of the best in the world.
Oh!
Mickey, what a knockoff.
So Jake, I need to give a lesson to you as one caster to now another, right? Casters have incredible power. Right when you're about to praise a player, that's when they get dunked into a river. Use your power wisely.
This is my first caster curse moment, and I know how it feels. Patty Fan sniping down a Kraken, gonna force another reset from the side of Australia. Great aggression from Thailand, understanding with that initial pick. Oh no.
Oh.
Making it out this time.
Okay, Mickey going, oh boy, this actually isn't gonna work this time. Although actually,
oh no.
He's just like, all right, why don't you roll a little bit closer to the river, see what happens.
Trill might want to find a new angle of approach here on the flank.
You would think, right? But I think Mickey's gonna stay there until it stops working. Meanwhile, Abudo on the Hanzo, looking for, oh, wow,
nice
okay, that was good.
Abudo looking really good on this Hanzo, going very aggressive. Thailand finding their footing against the sniper. Abu waving.
This is like BlizzCon 2016 Abudo, where he just absolute monstrous moments here on the Hanzo, and so far Australia has yet to have an answer.
Certainly, they're trying to build momentum with this Hammond, really relying on those nanoblades and those EMPs to get things done here on offense. But so far, it's been a slow build, and already almost 2 minutes off the clock. Trill is way up in the sky, though, but Patty Fan taking down a Haas. That's going to take the legs out from under Australia. With no hacks to set up, it's going to be hard, but Trill getting on the supports, wants to separate them from their team. There's no heals for the tanks now for Team Thailand. Titawat is all on his own. At least has to work with Mickey.
Patty Fan able to get the DMAC. Meanwhile, Trill gonna be putting the wrecking in the ball right now, going to the backhand side, but still pretty low. Able to get his way out of danger, but Abudo on the other end, just continuing to get good damage. Gonna drop the Dragon to split aside Australia even further, and this has been a surprisingly strong defense from Thailand so far.
Haas finds the Widowmaker. That's going to open things up for the side of Australia. The Widow is one of the most difficult things to deal with for Kraken's Ana, so potentially this Nanoblade could be huge. Patty Fan popping his Infra Sight, but switching instantly to Genji. Not going to commit to this fight, and now Australia has so many ults to work with, all 6 available. They want to snowball this first point of Rialto.
The strange thing is, though, it still might be a 2-fight territory with how the spawns are here. We'll see how it works out. Haas, it's stunned early on. The blatant Zigam, though, gonna connect. Mickey out of it. CCKM, though, gets shattered. Still finds his way to Rocket in the end. So 2 down for Thailand, but this is where defense on Rialto can thrive.
Certainly, but not with extra supports. It's really going to be up to Panties and Rocket to get back in the fight. Support this right out as a contest card, but Abudo finds Trill. Trill overextending there. That minefield would have been so crucial here. And now, again, Thailand regaining control. It really does feel like this is their map.
Australia down to the very final man in Rialto. Rialto, the upset master map of Overwatch World Cup, certainly of Overwatch contenders. We'll see if Thailand can just get 1 to 2 more fights.
Trill, very favorable, says he's very confident on this Hammond, but so far really just hasn't been able to make anything happen here. Potentially able to get something with the mine.
We have the Dragon, though, coming right on us, Australia. Oh, okay, self-destruct gonna get 2, and that's exactly what Australia needed here to get a little bit of momentum. They dealt with Opudo, who's been a thorn in their side, and Mickey somehow still alive, but his shield's gonna break. And now Thailand. How long can you delay? This is the make or break moment here on Rialto, but Australia is really just making it a break moment as they break Thailand right here and now. They get point A.
A little bit of inexperience from Thailand. This is the same problem they had before, but Trill going so deep with this minefield, it's going to be so hard for Mickey to retreat out of the position.
Udo takes down Huss, and Thailand, very admirable defense, but we'll see if they can keep it up on point B. Obviously, about 2 minutes and 30 seconds sent to the other side, and really, in terms of momentum, Australia can pick some up here.
Certainly, Thailand, though, coming up on the Nano Blade, could shut things down with no defensive ults available for Team Australia. The Nano Blade can be crushing. It's going to be up to Huss to hack Patty and deny those dash resets.
CKM holding on to the blade, eyeing up the other team, waiting for the right opportunity to go in, and Huss is giving him that scouting information close to the EMP. I think he thought he would already have it up, but gets Opudo anyways, makes it a double with the 8 of Trill, and in the end, they don't need to use all their tools. They're able to save the EMP, and this is quite good for Australia.
Nice decisiveness from Australia. Thailand very close to the Nano Blade of their own, but even deeper, doesn't want to let them use it at all, but the rally gets off from Mickey, going to keep everybody alive except for Rocket, looking to recontest and hold the second point arch to Thailand.
Unbridled aggression coming in, but Thailand goes, you know what? We're not a fan of that. Here comes a blade of our own. The nano boosted Genji finding on Patafan, going up to the top. Okay, back up a bit, but I do think that was a bit of an overextension from Australia.
Yeah, I like the idea from Huss. You know, he knows that Thailand is sitting on a big ultimate bank. Potentially you can EMP them there and clean up, but of course the spawn is right there. Mickey getting his rally off, and at that point there's just no way to get through that armor.
So I gotta say, there's something real scary here. We know that Huss is one to go for back caps. Look at how close the payload is to the very end. I think Huss is gonna go for it.
I mean, you should certainly touch it, at least stop the car from rolling back. That makes a huge difference on this map. And Cam back to the far. It's gonna be all up to Opudo and Panties. Of course, no Diva on the side of Thailand right now, so nothing to stop this Pharaoh damage.
So we just saw Huss go to the back. There's too many members of Thailand there for him to go for it, but they can just bait Thailand up a bit. Still could be long, but no, Australia, they're just gonna go in. They drop the self-destruct, and you know what? Able to look towards it. No, boy, Trill sleeping on the job. A nice sleep dart once more, leading to his death. And Thailand, firm control.
But at the same time, Kraken and CKM both producing. There's no more answers for CKM. It's all of Opudo. He has to be able to take it down, but the Nano Boost is going to give him so much EHP. It's too difficult to deal with. Mickey is just running from this far. She's such a terror in the skies here, able to do essentially whatever she wants. Coming up on a barrage is CKM, looking to lay into the backs of Thailand.
Even with the Nano Boost, he wasn't able to land enough rockets. Thailand was beefy enough on the point, so essentially, we reset back to 0. Huss, lucky not to get picked off. Opudo, though, down. A man advantage now for Australia. CKM, hold on to the barrage, waiting to let it loose here. Nice rocket on the Patafan, and as a result, Australia gonna be getting point B.
Very clean directs by CKM. Doesn't even need to use the barrage to end that fight. And now Huss with the EMP. EMP, one of the best combos for barrage in the game. You know, abilities are really what you rely on to take down that Pharah. Oh, and Huss capitalizing on another nice direct by CKM. Great teamwork there.
You know what? That is exactly what we want for Sombra. It's not just utility. Sometimes you want to get the pickoffs as well. Australia now working the momentum as they look towards the final point. Huss setting up for that EMP. And there it is, dropped the EMP right away. CKM, there's the follow through, rocket after rocket. Let's make it rain. Takes down the McCree. McCree got 2 though at the very end, so even though Australia's winning the fight, they're not gonna have the momentum they would otherwise have.
Great awareness by Titawat as well. Gets EMP'd and just goes straight to card. Knows he's gonna lose the fight, but now is guaranteeing his team another chance. And now they have a few ultimates to work with. The Nano Boost, Rally, Beat, and almost another Shatter. So Thailand potentially looking to stabilize. Great decision making by Titawat. Knows the fight is lost, but denies the card progress. And again, this game is all about the objectives.
Meanwhile, Kraken holding on to the Nano Boost here for Australia. What could be the difference maker? Throws out the Trill. Oh, again asleep. How many times do you have to see this movie? Oh, Mother of Mercy.
Mother of Mercy. The high noon of your dreams as McCree.
Oh, I don't even. What a great sleep dart.
I know who's got gold damage right now.
Yeah, that was quite a bit.
That's a quick couple thousand damage there, pouring out very quickly, setting up those final recontesters. Australia has a very tough test ahead of them. Titawat ready to lay him with the shatter, but he's dropping low. Oh, barely saved by his team.
T2 holding on to the Earth Shadow, look for the opportunity. You gotta crack that bubble, you gotta drop the hammer. Waiting, drops the hammer and gets nothing. Hammer ends up getting absolutely nada on the Australian side, so it's not gonna be the difference maker, but you know who was? It was Apudo. Got Trill, Mickey diving in even deeper, 2 pickoffs for Thailand, and now it's all about the cleanup.
Australia coming up on support ults, but it's just too little too late here. Thailand holding strong on the card. They just can't get through Mickey's armor. Great defense from Team Thailand there at the end. Shatter, for some reason, not connecting. I'm not exactly sure why, but
that was weird.
Work here.
That was weird. Look, I was like, I feel like that should have hit, but look, I mean, I know sometimes that can be on the margins, but end of the day, it didn't hit. So that's what it was.
But you know what? They didn't need it, is what it goes to show. Mickey getting enough value on that Brigitte, shutting down the Genji in the back line, and Trill as well, not finding anything. So really great defense there, finally stabilizing on last. But again, this is Rialto. I mean, getting through first point is usually all you need to do, and getting that close to last is sometimes just as good as a full cap. So if Australia can hold things on first and second point, that failure at the end of offense just won't matter.
You know, I have to say, by the way, is that, you know, even though they say McCree's pretty good at checking time, I don't think I'd want McCree to be my alarm clock after what I saw in that last game.
Oh, man. I mean, the sleeps this series have been absolutely insane. I can't recall a series in which I've seen this many ultimates, nano boost primals, dragon blades, all slept one after the other, and a Kraken has been getting the best of it. Gotta give it to him.
Look, there's just a plague of narcolepsy right now in Bangkok where heroes are falling over. People don't really know why they're falling asleep. Usually they might think it's an after effect of getting nano boosted. Who really knows? But it's been fun to watch.
I'm just really happy to see Ana back in the meta. These big plays, so fun to watch, so exciting to play with and against. I mean, it's a huge amount of playmaking potential in every single part of her kit. So I'm just happy to see her back in the game, getting all the use that she deserves, and really just both teams making great use of all of her kit.
No doubt about it. And hey, I think right now if you're an Ana player where you're just like, look, there's been a long time where I've not been able to play Ana. It's just like, when do I get to see Ana represented at the highest levels of Overwatch play? When does she make a return? Time is now.
Right now, and we see how far Thailand must get to secure the victory here on Rialto. Australia wants none of that. Oh, and how could I forget? What a great map to defend with on Ferris. CKM is certainly going to be in his comfort zone here, so Thailand gonna need to produce really, really well here to knock Australia off this first point.
And I mean, the key there is going to be Petafan, right? Where Petafan needs to find a way to get on CKM, and already striking 2 shots, but none of them to the head. And as a result, Petafan falls a little bit overextended, but that was close.
Petafan punished without aggression, had his chances though. I mean, it was a good play, just wasn't able to find the connections. Rezzed up his Petafan, but CKM getting a lot of value in the interim.
Meanwhile, Thailand, of course, this is trouble. Getting through Rialto first, not easy. They were full health back to Temple Anubis. They don't want to be full health here again. And Australia doing pretty well here. A lot of pressure. T2 goes, please heal. Someone heal me.
Someone heal me, getting slowly zapped down by Winston. That's one of the worst ways to go in Overwatch. Petafan gets another chance, not able to connect.
I mean, so far, he's been hitting the bar, just hasn't been hitting the head case, and it's kind of the target you want to hit in the end. So, Petafan going to be going off on a journey here on the flank.
Yeah, a ton of heals available from Custa and a Kraken, so he's going to need to be bursting CKM to be able to take him down at all. But CKM using the benefit of Huss's scouting ability. Ooh, Petafan the flank, and this time does it with the body shot.
Always shoot the body. That is the Petafan motto right now, and hey, it worked out up until the resin.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. That was a little bit up close and personal. Doesn't quite work out. Thailand in some trouble here as Australia, keeping an iron hold on the point so far.
CKM both supports.
Yeah, that's the end to the fight. You get both supports, you get the DMAC for good measure. CKM dominant on the far end here so far.
And here's the thing, we see Petafan take down CKM, but the res comes in and Petafan falls. Now there's no more answers to CKM. He's totally free to go for that really aggressive barrage in the back line. Great use of utility and understanding the map there by CKM. Really doing a great job on the Pharaoh so far.
Australia already burning about 2 minutes off the clock. 2 minutes left to go, and Petafan just gets stomped by Trill.
Trill wants more.
Yeah, Trill's going. He's like, I'm angry. I'm real angry. Let's go in even deeper. Let's play some juggling. And as a result, it is completely discombobulating Thailand. But Thailand, they're building up a reserve.
Panny, yes, dropping low, able to be saved by the support. It really feels like Australia's playing this defense like an offense. They're getting right in Thailand's face and not giving them the setups they want. Petafan using that pressure, doesn't feel like he can continue to play Widowmaker. He makes the switch over to Soldier. Apudo though with a big EMP. The Nano Boost though keeping Trill alive in the fight. CKM finds
T2 gets nothing with that Earth Shatter, nothing but the streets. And as a result, Australia still in a good position. They did lose CKM, but you look at Huss. He has the EMP out, and he's just gonna wait a little bit longer, drop the EMP, deback the Diva, and the self-destruct right on schedule. Doesn't connect though, so wasn't quite in the right spot, and Huss goes, all right, I'll do my own follow-through. I got an SMG, I got some moves.
You know, coming into the series, I would have thought Oputo's a Sombra specialist. This is his meta, but Huss has just been getting the better of it and time again. Great work by Huss, setting up his team for really sweet plays, and Thailand trying to commit to this fight. They do have a close spawn, but things are looking rough for them. They're not going to be able to take down CKM.
Thailand really struggling against his offense from Australia, or defense from Australia, where CKM,
Nice air shot, though.
he was close to falling, and as you say, not enough. Gonna get healed on up, and this far, it's just been a problem for them.
Yeah, you know, and I have to give it to Huss. I see him constantly in the backline. This time gets punished out by Pattyfan. Potentially the translocator caught up by Aputo there. Huss maybe not realizing that he couldn't save. Surprised to see a soldier get that frag.
CKM again, holding in the back, barrage ready. Of course, you got Tac Visor on the other side, but Pattyfan needs his team to make some space. Nanoboost gonna set the way. Australia going on in, barrage out. Mickey though nullifies. Pattyfan destroys CKM out of the fight, but you see the Diva come on in. They punish Pattyfan in Australia, just not unsettled here.
Thailand gonna have major damage problems with both DPS there. Mickey commits the self-destruct. He's able to get the read back in. That's so huge in this fight. But a Kraken, huge bombardate on 3. Takes on Lucio, but it's not enough. Thailand with the control here, able to start this hard moving on first point.
The problem is that this is an illusion. You'd think, all right, they're about to get in. Here's the reality. Australia is coming on in with a respawn advantage. It's difficult to get through. Even though Thailand is fighting admirably here, they don't get this pick on the custom. They don't. Tita1 got greedy, got punished by CKM. And now Australia's coming back into the point. The fight certainly not over yet.
Everyone getting greedy here, but Aputo, the only Sombra alive now, cancels the resurrect from custody. He has got no Guardian Angel, can't escape there. Thailand looking to take first point.
That was a great EMP. You cancel the res, you get yourself in a good spot, and now Australia, they're running out of buys to throw at the point. Tracer hacked down, point to Thailand.
Thailand takes them all 4 minutes to cap first point, but they finally get it done. That is good enough on Rialto. This second point is so hard to hold for the defense, and again, they don't have to go so far unless Huss just hanging out with Tita1.
The invisible friend he never knew he had.
But this is very risky for T-Watt. If he gets hacked here, he could get really caught out by CKM or a Kraken.
Oh, he's gonna get hacked now. No rolling away. Huss gonna get out the other end via the translocator. Not really the biggest fault throwing the ham in there, but just kind of letting you know, by the way, I'm a hacker.
Yeah, pretty hard to get the damage through, but definitely pushes him off that position. Doesn't give him the setup he wants. There's probably a reason he's there, probably a setup he's looking for.
Here comes Tita1. Getting ready to roll on in, looks for the Ana, has the minefield, but the rest of the team fight passing on by. Huss picked off 2, and now he goes, yeah, you want to go for a swim? Yeah, you do. Get out of here. Nice hack to finish out the fight.
Here's where we learn Panthers cannot swim.
You know, is that, and neither can hackers from the future, apparently. That's how that goes.
Not. Everyone going for a swim. Feeling a little dry here on Rialto. It's up to CKM now to try and hold back, but Pattyfan able to do so much on this soldier with another nano visor at the ready. This is what broke things open for Thailand on first point. Will they be able to repeat here on second?
We'll just have to see Pattyfan holding on to the Tac Visor. And another sleep coming in. That's going to get Trill out of the fight for a little while. Thailand now trying to take the fight on the other end, but go back in, Nano Boost in, and it's going to be Nano Visor, a combo that is not seen all that often nowadays, and perhaps that's why it gets nothing.
Yeah, gets absolutely nothing. Completely zoned by the Diva. Custa staying out of that LOS with the Valkyrie, putting out so many heals right now. Rocket with the sound barrier, but he just can't find a good time to commit it.
Oh, well, that's one way. Blast yourself off. Pattyfan help him out there. EMP being struck in by Thailand. The follow-through is there. It's been a messy fight, but Thailand now starting to rise above it. Final 30 seconds, but Australia has been broken.
Thailand takes down a Kraken, able to make this work, able to push this through, potentially capping second point here. Australia, though, should have that final opportunity to contest point. And with the EMP from Huss, this could actually work out for them, but I expect to see Rocket in a very defensive position, hiding for that EMP.
And we see Huss already setting up here. Mickey being highly aggressive. Barrage out from CKM, and it gets Mickey, it gets Aputo. EMP now out from Huss. The rest of Australia all on in. They get the res on the CKM, and Australia working strong here. Time running down for Thailand. Self-destruct doesn't connect, but zones. Let's see if the stuff is Trill. Sleeping once more. Panties continuing to land good sleep darts, but too little, too late. Australia gonna be holding off Thailand here for a little bit longer. You see Mickey on the way back in. They get the pick off, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough.
Australia ending things here on Rialto with a 4-0 crushing victory over the home team. Thailand, Australia have to be feeling themselves now.
Absolutely, and look, Thailand was threatening at points in the series. They were threatening certainly on the first control map. They were threatening on Kings Row right after, but in the end, Australia, kind of slow starters, but very strong at the finish.
Certainly, their team coordination just finding the better of it there. Huss and Trill really having great synergy on the Sombra and the Winston. Such great dives in the back line, constantly producing. And we see both teams trying to get aggressive. Both teams want to attack those supports. Australia just getting the better of it here.
Now, I have to say is that you take a look at both these teams, there's definitely talent on both ends. And Australia, of course, it's a kind of a newer team for Australia. They're not going with the old form team. It's not all blank alumni. And, you know, this is kind of good for them where if you're going to have a slower day where you're working out some bugs in your strategies, work it out here where you're on a schedule that's probably a little bit weaker.
I mean, and part of what's, I think, working so well for Australia is having a player like Custa on the team. Very experienced Overwatch League player, understands how to call and lead a team, probably able to bring up a lot of these players to a higher level. They can perform mechanically, but anything they might lack in any strategic or decision-making areas, Custa can really supplement and you know, turn things around for them there.
All right, guys. Well, to give us a little bit more insight, we got Mika down on the floor.
Us from Team Australia. You guys have had 2 wins today, so how are you guys feeling about making it out of the stage?
Really confident. We've put in a lot of practice, so we'd be surprised if we didn't make it out.
And you guys are going to be going on, battling more teams. Who would you say you're really excited to play, and who would you say you're maybe a little bit scared to take on?
Excited, I'd say Sweden, and worried, I'd say China.
That's fair, that's fair. China has been looking a little bit dark horsey there. So thank you so much for coming out to talk to us, and congratulations on your 2nd win of the day, and good luck as you continue on in this group stage. So we are going to kick it on back to ZP and Jake as they break down the awesome action that we just saw.
Always good to hear from the players there. Of course, Huss giving a little bit insights. And, you know, for Australia, you can hold your head high. You've come away from this day without any losses. You're ready to fight the Titans of Sweden and China. Definitely excited to see how that pans out.
Great map score from Australia, going up 7-1 so far in day 1. That's exactly where you want to be going into the future. You know, that's like they're saying, they're looking to qualify here. If they can take down Sweden or do well against China, you know, that's looking very, very possible for them. And I love to see Huss there looking cool, calm, and collected. Doesn't seem like anything less was expected.
No doubt. But of course, let's take a reflection back on what we saw a little bit earlier in the day. Some replays here for the series, and, you know, we saw Huss here on the Sombra. Huss was continually getting good Sombra plays.
Getting so much value, getting so much scouting here. And Trill, again, also another half of this aggressive dive composition. Oh, and here we see this massive amount of knockoff, just completely cleaning up Thailand here on Oasis to start the series off.
You know, it's funny. I think in the beginning we saw a lot of really good Nano Winston plays, and then I feel like as time went on, they just get, you know, really got slapped over and over again, but that's a nice
hack by Pudo. And then we see Petty, look at this. Barely gets the sleep dart out before the EMP comes down.
Oh man, one good sleep out of many. And by the way, speaking of great plays, you might have something there, but it didn't quite matter in the end.
Trill getting so much value off that nano boost. Great jump in. Here we see CCam's blade cleaning up. Fatty fun there as well.
Oh man, you know, we go through these replay reels in a lot of cases, and there's not always a ton of good plays. This is fun.
This game was absolutely stacked. Sleeves, blades, primals all around. Fatty fun here getting a big blade of his own.
Goes on in and forgives, it's like, but I stunned you. And Patafan goes, I don't care.
Fearlessly charging back in with the support of his team. CCam here, ooh, nice clean dash resets there with the aid of Trill's nano.
You gotta love all these mechanical plays, where it's like, those mechanics. Good stuff across the board.
Yeah, I'd love to see also Australia sticking to their guns. CKM playing almost exclusively Pharah and Genji this whole series, but just doing so well on them, you know, you can't fault them for it.
Also that Petafan swap onto the Winston there, it's just like, yeah, he's a DPS main, but no, just casual Winston, no problem.
Yeah, Pudo also getting a lot on the Sombra, almost holding first point was Thailand in this situation.
Thailand was close, there's no doubt about it, but Australia, anytime the chips were down, they found a way back in. They were survivors all the way through, and I hope this goes to McCree right after. Yeah, it does! Oh, I love this.
Man. What a setup.
That's actually, I think, one of the best replay moments ever. Like, kudos to the observing crew and the replay crew. That's awesome.
It's one of the favorite combos in Overwatch. Sleep into high noon, just a classic. Nowhere to run. It is high noon, and when you're asleep, that's not the time to be asleep. You know, that's guys like kids. Don't wake up at noon. That's an unhealthy sleep schedule.
Yeah, it's quite bad. But guys, in case you're tuning in wondering, well, what were the standings here today? Let's take a look at them right now. Of course, we had 5 sets here today, and we had Denmark striking first, 3-1. Australia getting over Spain, another 3-1. A lot of 3-1s here today, and it was only at the end that you had the 4-0.
Yeah, we saw Spain and Denmark, though, also a very, very close series. This has been, as we predicted, one of the tightest group stages so far here in the Overwatch World Cup, so I'm really happy to be here casting. I hope the games stay this good.
I mean, that is the dream. And, of course, you take a look at the standings after day 1. And, you know, the surprise to some people here might be Sweden, down 1 early on. But they went down to China, who is undoubtedly looking like the strongest team in the stage so far.
Yeah, too early, I would say, for these standings to be, really impactful. Certainly, China and Sweden arguably both facing their toughest opponents first.
And now let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule in case you're wondering when these Titans will be facing off once more. And, of course, schedule popping up here, and we'll go back to that a little later.
Certainly. I think what's really impressed me is how well a lot of these teams have played. I thought this was going to be a close group stage because a lot of the teams were more ragtag and uncoordinated, but we've seen teams like Team China bringing together pieces from a lot of different teams, but just looking so experienced and so coordinated despite their youth. So I'm really impressed by them. Same goes for, I would say, Team Sweden, Team Australia, really making it work. Teams are stepping away from that old strategy of let's send the best team from our region, and instead actually going for these superstar rosters seems to be working out really well for them.
Absolutely. And I mean, you take a look at China, right, where a lot of teams would kind of, doubt them, but they came strong. And now let's take a look at the schedule one more time. It'll be there. It will be there. I have faith.
Yep. Schedule coming up new.
Okay. So, schedule coming up for tomorrow. It's going to be Australia, Denmark to kick it off. There it is. China, Thailand, Australia versus Sweden, where, look, that's going to be a make or break for Australia right then and there. Denmark versus China, and finally ending with Spain versus Sweden. What really strikes out to you here, Jake?
For me, I'm so excited to watch these China games, especially against Denmark. Denmark really thought to be the dark horse team, and now China looks like potentially the juggernaut of the group stage. So I'm really excited for that matchup late in the day. Sweden should be looking to get some sweet victories here over Spain and Australia. That's what they absolutely must do. So Australia versus Sweden is another matchup to watch. Both of those teams looking to punch their ticket to BlizzCon.
I just feel like every time you look at the schedule here, whether it be tomorrow, whether it be the final day on Sunday, there's just good games across the board. And I feel like there's a lot of parity in this group and a lot of just cool things to look for.